Hello, pool fans from checking in around the world. All the action going on this year at the 2025 Derby City Classic. We're having a great time here at Caesars, Southern Indiana. All sorts of different tournaments going on, including 9-ball. We got banks, we got one pocket. And here in the ACCUSTATS arena right now, it is the Bigfoot, the 10-ball challenge from Diamond. 16 of the very best players on the planet. It's single elimination, and we are down to 8. Actually, in just one more is going to move on into the final 4. Who is it going to be? It's time to meet the players. First up, he is a U.S. Open champion. He has won every event here at the Derby and so many more. He's a member of the Billiards Hall of Fame, sponsored by Lomax and Pagulayan from Toronto, Canada. Make some noise for the Lion, Alex Pagulayan. And his opponent is a 2024 9-ball Derby City runner-up, 2024 9-ball Super Billiard Expo runner-up, and the 2023 UK Open champion. Sponsored by CB Prime, Predator, Talm, and Uptown Billiards from Vilnius, Lithuania. Make some noise from PIJUS LABUTIS. Our referee is Ricky Bryan, lagging for the break and sending it up to Mark Wilson and Scott Frost in the ACCUSTATS Skybox.
Pool fans from around the globe, welcome to the ACCUSTATS Arena here at the 26th Annual Derby City Classic. Scott Frost is here, and I'm his partner, Mark Wilson. And Scott, talk a little bit about Pagulayan's performance last night.
Spectacular, nothing short of spectacular. He's used the bridge throughout that match, Mark. I'd be exaggerating, or not exaggerating, if he used it a dozen or more times and executed every single one of them. You talked about how close he gets the tip to the cue ball there, which is rare. He's an expert at it. That being said, the guy he's playing is also playing exceptional. I look for this to be a great match.
Yeah, Labutis got here by virtue of beating Fedor Gorst, too. That's a mountain to climb by itself. Pagulayan played spot on position last night. I watched the match from down in the bleachers. Man, I can see there's a different spring in his step. I mean, he was just on point on the position. He's lost the lag, raced a 10. The 10 does not win on the break. I say that every match just because last match we did have a 10 go in on the break. And even the referee didn't know it. But it has to spot up immediately. Very effective break here to start things off. Pretty thin cut. But I think it's a shot.
Yeah, can he reach it?
This plays better for a right-handed player than it does a left-handed player, that's for sure, if you're going to take it on.
Yeah, you might be able to get to it.
Position is the issue.
He could really dig with an inside ball, like paper clip it. Almost. You're just catching the thin side of the ball and really sending the cue ball directly past the 2. But, boy, you'd have to dig deep.
I think the position route, if we can grab the overhead real quick, if he's going to cut this in, is to come just a hint of inside and attack the 4-ball coming this way. Because we got to take this pocket out of play altogether. So you got to be air more towards the 3. So you wouldn't use tons of spin. He chose to not go that way.
Yeah, and I don't know where he was. I guess he was wanting to get past the 2.
And primarily get that cue ball to stay right on that end rail.
Yeah, and I think he wanted the object ball under the 3 and 10. I don't think it's going to hurt him too much. But he might be able to float onto the 2 already. Pagulayan already entertaining.
People love him. He'll engage the crowd while he plays and talk about his shots. He's very humanizing. Certainly a fan favorite for many years.
There you go. You got to win with this.
Yeah, he messed it up a little bit, but he kind of waves PIJUS to say, hey, I got lucky. I know I got lucky. everybody knows this is my favorite tournament of all because every match is so good, and it's single elimination, max pressure, $1,000 entry fee, big prize fund. This match alone is worth $4,000. Okay, he kicked and he hit it. Left, maybe he could play offense by banking and just, keep the cue ball there, but more likely he's just going to play straightaway defense. The straight back bank would be a play, but you're getting positioned on a tough combination, so that's the reason to not play it. So he went straight away defense. How's his speed? Good, not good. Left a shot, position or safety error there if he pockets this ball. In my book, it should be a safety error anyway, but.
Yeah, agreed. The 2-4 is definitely on.
I'm leaning it in some areas, and this one I'm not.
Well, you have valid reasons. I agree with you. There's nothing wrong with that. He's laid real nice here.
So Labutis has control of the first rack here.
Just don't want to overhit this to where you lose the 2. Perfect. Don't even think you could lose the 2 as straight as he was.
Very straightforward, just a little low left. Bringing that off the rail so he can get to the bottom of the cue ball. That affords him a lot of opportunity to create the right angle on the 8 ball. And now this will just be a stop shot. Beautiful. One zero.
Quickly becoming one of my favorite players to watch. Just something really fluid and just, I don't even know how to explain it yet with his final delivery within the stroke. It is just so smooth.
Yet another young guy, 27 years old. He was 25th on the money list last year. 25th now. 73,000 in tournament earnings. Pretty good for pool.
Yeah, and I think it's only going to get better, obviously. Well, hopefully. I think they're on the right track.
Pagulayan breaking off his fingertips.
Oh,
That's not the way you want to start. Make a couple balls and scratch right into the side, and that's not a kiss. That's totally his fault for getting across the head ball.
yeah, they often forget, or we often forget, that accuracy far outweighs power. Fatigue can have a lot to do with this.
This is that interesting little circumstance where, for people at home, you have ball in hand, you have open layout, but the 2 is not that easy to get on. You have to fight to get 3 balls with ball in hand. Something's gone way wrong when you don't get 3 balls. Then after that, maybe you have to be a shot maker. But with starting with ball in hand, you should be able to get these. Good job there. But you can see if he falls a foot short or goes a foot further, then it becomes a real problem. And so even though you have ball in hand, you got to learn to set that up to easily get into that good zone.
Definitely wants an angle on the 5. Something similar to what he has now is just fine. As far as the angle's concerned, he doesn't have to be real close to it. It'll work.
Now that I'm on the tail end of my career, I know so much better how to train. I so wish I could be 22 again and start over. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, the things we wish we knew.
Yeah.
Than what we know now.
This is this. Why is it that the lesson comes after the test? Yeah.
Absolutely. This is life. Did he fall a little straight here? I believe he can go forward. If need be. Might just stop. He is a shot maker.
And he's very composed. He goes and looks. I like that part of it because you don't want to get the iffy spots and then just shoot and hope. You want to have a plan.
Yeah, so well hit, too. Got through the ball as clean as he could. Dead perfect. Now he can just stop and carry that angle on the 9. Possibly drawing it back to the second rail.
Hits the heart of the pocket. 2-0 now.
So far, 0 arrows and up 2-0.
Yeah, Pagulayan, a little mishit on the initial safety in game number 1. And the mishit on the break. Shout out to another listener, Ashley Nicole, killing it out there on the women's tour. Also a great one-pocket player. Most of you back east know her. I think she's coming out here this week. Thanks for tuning in.
Where's she from, Scott?
She's from Connecticut area, but she lives in kind of the middle of nowhere, I think. Hard worker.
Oh, cue ball got kissed up into the side. Nowhere near as egregious of a mistake as what happened with Pagulayan. Labutis had the cue ball behind the side pocket. Got nicked up. Here's our Premier Billiards replay. Cue ball's moving. No, Labutis just drew it that far.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Look at this layout. This is very non-typical. Everything is like in a patch within the 2 diamond mark. Or
Yeah.
Very odd, actually.
Wonder if that's why we love pool, because it's never the same thing. It's not like you're putting a nut on a screw for your life. Every shot is different here.
It is certainly not monotonous.
It's almost like a training exercise or something here.
Yeah, very, very odd. I've just not seen this. 5 is the shot to win with.
Yeah, Mike Siegel was talking about that very thing, that he would look at a ball and kind of think of it like, if I get this one, that's like the 9 ball. But what it would do is psychologically give him a sense of accomplishment in the middle of a rack and feel good about, like, I'm supposed to get the rest up now, and it kind of helped to perpetuate that real positive framework.
I love that. I wonder how many other people can think like that, maybe even subconsciously. I tend to think like that throughout all sorts of pool games. If you pick out a ball and figure out, hey, if I get here, I can win the game, no matter what game it is. Well, it's, a shorter-term goal that really gives you that sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
You hit that great. Do you chance coming back? I think you have to, or do you just float forward?
I expect him to come back.
Yeah, he looks like he's queuing back, and I don't blame him.
I love his game, and when he's on, he's in such control. That cue ball, he controls the cue ball as well as anybody, or better than most, for sure. I don't know of anyone that controls it better.
Agreed. I think he's probably the most tactically knowledgeable player that you can get. But he isn't the tallest.
No, he should have drank his milk when he was young. Now he has to pay for that. Very effervescent and smiling and engaging and fun.
Might need another extension.
Good job. Yeah, didn't try to overdo it. Good run out there with ball in hand. Pagulayan gets himself on the scoreboard, trailing 2-1.
After 3, 2-1.
Yeah, nice recovery after a couple of little mishits early. And Labutis didn't let up, put the heat on him. So that's a good sign for Alex. Yeah, I want to see how he's racking those. Putting the corner balls at the end of, or on the corners of the rack, it kind of keeps the rack flat, and then insert the balls in the center. But at some point, you have to move those back corner balls to get the others in. There's tricks to the trade.
Well, it's the 2 and the 9 that are the 4-railers. The 6 and 8 right behind the 1. They're the ones they try to really make in the side. Well, he Brooklyn the ball. 6 did find the side pocket. Is the 1 going to check up and give him a shot? Looks like it is.
Yeah, pretty natural, too, I guess. You just don't want to catch any of the 7. Yeah, it's a little tricky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could go right at the 8 if you wanted to be a little aggressive with the stroke. This is all player preference and feel. Might even just come 1 rail out in front of it, see what he's thinking. I think you can go at the 8 almost. You just don't want to baby it and not get there.
Right. Yeah, I think right at the 8, because if you try to go around the 8, now you got to include speed, which now puts the 7 more in play. This way you can just roll it.
Yeah, you don't have to hit it real hard, just nice and smooth. Perfect.
He got a little straight. Now he's bumped the 8 into that kind of that drawback pathway, depending upon how you hit the pocket.
Yeah, I think he can beat the 8 on the low side. Looks like he's just going to go
high ball
to the high ball, second rail. Well, he's got a bigger angle here, but he can just come out towards center of the table. You don't have to do anything fancy, but does the 5 pass the 9? I don't believe it does.
Right.
That changes everything.
Right. It's still the center of the table will get you to the other side where the 5 does go past the 10 into the corner. So he might have the okay angle for that. Going forward, then you're forcing yourself to play that 5 past the 9. Well, he's going forward.
Yeah, I don't know. Hard for us to tell if the 5 does clear the 9. This tells me it doesn't. I think he's trying to stay straight so he can come back for the side or the same pocket. He's got several pockets he can go to.
Excellent, excellent. He has a nice, easy angle to transfer to the 7.
This is okay, unless he gets snookered. Gotta figure he was always going towards the 8. I think he figured if he catches it, he's going to catch it flush. And he just got there.
Pretty interesting because these balls are, they're near the pocket and everything's good, but boy, it's still a 5x10. You do have to respect each shot.
Alex is one to like the inside ball. I would assume he checks this. A lot of players will spin this with an outside ball.
Perfect speed, too.
One of the best with the inside ball, Pagulayan.
And that will tie the score at 2 apiece, but his first break and run out of the set. That was a classy break and run. Okay, Labutis, just left of center of the table. Cue ball got away. So he's not going to get quite the dynamic ball action that a little firmer hit. He gets some spin on the cue ball that takes away from more forward momentum of the mass, so you lose power into the rack.
Yeah, and he's gone to his right side both times with the cue ball. Last time drew it 2 rails into the side, which cost him basically 2 games, and there you see the miss hit again. You can definitely come off the right side of the 1 and swing 1-2 back down behind the 6, but might make it simpler if you just come off the left side. You might be hitting it full and holding the cue ball up top.
Very, very good shot. To hold your cue ball like that and then control the speed of the one ball that way, you have to really load that up with backspin. You know, that's the exact shot right there. Set it up at home, do it 10 times for 3 days, and you'll have a much better feel for it. If you never practice it, then when it comes up, it's too late. You won't be nimble or comfortable to do it.
Yeah, trying to come between. He's going to take the extension. It's automatic. 1/32 extension per game. He's trying to come between the 6, 7, and 10. Oh, wow. Look at this.
Excellent.
Look at this.
Excellent.
Sweet. He played to catch that ball going in. I guess he believes that he can get better cover coming from the top rail if he makes contact.
That's going to be too soft.
Yeah, especially if he hits it full.
Foul, no rail after contact.
Well, the trick is from the 2 to the 3.
Yep. Yeah, it's that same spot I was talking about. You have to get 3 balls down unless you're playing a pre-planned safety. You did not make very good use of ball in hand if you don't get 3 balls in.
Yeah, and he's looking at that gap mark between the 4 and 6. There is a gap there. Can't do too much with the cue ball here. Obviously, you just want to get off the rail about a foot.
He fell on that pretty nice. He got his cue ball closer to the object ball than I thought he could comfortably get.
Wow, just cinched it. Going to the top left with the 4. Automatic position. Just really knocked this down. Everything opens up from there.
The big deal there was trying to do anything, you ran the risk of not even coming out of it good, and he had this as a certainty. So just make 1 hard shot rather than try to make 2 hard shots.
That was one of those instances where he just gets down and pulls the trigger quite quickly. Sometimes he does it, sometimes he doesn't. I noticed it a lot more yesterday. He is the type of player, once he's down on the ball, he knows it's right. Could go to the short side with the 8. Nothing wrong with it. Versus flirt with the side pocket, trying to
Right.
check it with inside. I think it's really the only play. No risk this way. Just float the 7 in with an outside ball. Come to the second rail. Perfect. Doesn't want to get flat, but he should be perfect.
Very nice. Stuns it up there just delicately to pick up the exact right angle you want here. Now you can just stop and it'll just trickle to his left just a few inches. Went to the rail, out. Tremendous shot there. Taking ball in hand and cleaning up the rest of the balls there. But those first 3 balls, those are really the ones that you can get in trouble on.
One game lead, 3-2 after 5.
Yeah, and a lot of times you just want to play in threes regardless, right? You want to play in threes, always moving to the third, right? You're playing the 1, the 2 to the 3, but then once you make the 1, you're playing the 2 to the 3 to the 4, and so on.
I think my main point is that once you get those first 3, then now all of a sudden you start to settle on either angle. You know, you got, because the balls are open, so there's balls clear. There you got clear spaces to get to. But those first 3, that is tricky.
For you bar table 8-ball players, it's good to think that way as well in threes. You can always have a backup plan if you don't get there. When I say threes, I'll clarify it one more time. You shoot the 1, 2, 3, but once you shoot the 1, now you're on the 2, 3, 4, or the second, third, and fourth ball. So it's always 3 ahead.
And that often has to change, too.
Yes, it does. You always have a backup plan.
Jerry Bryson says, hey, Mark, an 8-ball, don't run 7 if you can't run 8. Okay, but that's wonderful to say. But when I started, I thought I could run 8, you know. But then I bumped something and tangled up. So how do you distinguish that? I don't know. I understand its principles, but I'm not sure how that applies exactly. But
yeah, where is Jerry this week? Is he coming?
He's got a chair down there. I noticed his name was on the back of a chair, so I think he's coming.
He's been my coach the last 5 or 6 years. Really made such an impact on the change in my delivery.
My coach for 51 years.
Nothing serious.
Nothing serious, right? We started off, he said, Mark, how long have you been playing? I said, 3 months. I haven't missed a day. And he says, well, here's what I want you to do. Take 2 weeks off, and then when you come back, I want you to consider quitting altogether.
You told me that before.
But he didn't say it with a smile, and it was so hurtful.
Yeah,
I thought I was good.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Julie Bloom just come in with dinner, and I can't eat it while I'm sitting here, but thank you so much. I have had nothing but salad for the last 3 days. You are the best. Thank you so much.
Well, that's what happens when you're a star.
Yeah, right. Thank you. I wish. I wish, Mark. Boy, I'll split it with you.
We had a good dinner. We went to dinner with Phil Wyndham down at just the cafeteria, but it was good. He was funny, having a good time. And he said that he was going to come up here and help us do the broadcast. And I said, yeah, you could be like for the hearing impaired. You could do for the brain dead, you know, and just say it real dumb, you know. He started laughing. That's a plan. All right, Pagulayan ready to break. Trailing 3-2. Better hit on the head ball. I'm not seeing anything find the pocket, however. 4-5. No, dry break.
Yeah, and how many times have we talked about this situation, Mark, where end rail to end rail, basically?
Yeah.
Start point from here. This is where the push-out can also be so important to understand that side of the game. I do think that one-pocket players have a slight advantage. Shane Van Boning, really good at the push-out play.
Mm-hmm.
Although the level of these guys is so high, I don't know that it makes any difference anymore what game you specialize in or no. But this is definitely tricky. I mean, you can't hit the right side of the one.
Yeah, danger, danger, danger. He didn't mean to make it, and it was going to be ugly if he didn't make it, but he did make it.
You know, the old one on the side.
Mm-hmm. Off the end rail on a 5x10 to a 4.5-inch pocket.
It's been a while since I've seen that. The old one on the side. Can he go rail first, or can he hit it going in?
I think he can swerve the cue ball to get rail first, yeah.
Easy to lose the cue ball here up table. Yeah, and he caught it thick as well, so just imagine if he catches it correct, he's going to end up there somewhere. But he had to go for the make.
Now, the 2-ball came out of the pocket just enough. It still requires a pretty good hit.
Yeah, almost. If it's not inside the point, like you say, he really might have to go up and down, but I think he can hold. I think it's just inside. Not getting any easier.
Is Alex 45 or 46? Do you know? Probably not. It's not fair to ask. But
well, he's a few years younger than me. I'm 49. I think he's 3 years younger than me.
Okay, so I knew he was around there. But years ago, and it's like this guy is just built for pool, we played the Camel Tour. But Alex wasn't old enough to participate, and he wanted to play so bad. You had to be 18 because it was Camel cigarettes, but it was truly our best tour we ever had for a whole host of reasons. And he would have to stand outside, and he would challenge pros coming out of the Camel Tour to play for money, 17 years old. And he would beat them. And he wanted to be in that tournament so damn bad, they couldn't allow him to get in. And now here we are this many years later, and he's just gotten better and better. But he was fantastic when he was 17. He wasn't pretty good. He was fantastic.
Yeah, it's interesting to know. It's great information. I wonder how old he was when he started playing pool. Be good to find out.
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't too many guys that were exempt from his list when he was 17. It was just whoever would play him. And then finally guys just quit playing him because it was kind of embarrassing. You're playing in the Pro Tour, and there's this kid out front that dusts everybody off.
I tell you what, he sure seems comfortable on this big table. We know he's got that snooker background. He is from Canada, Toronto, I believe. Born.
I'll tell you another thing he did here. He won back-to-back one-pocket titles, and I broadcast all those matches, so I watch it pretty intently. And in those matches, he would make the first hard shot. There'd be a little skirmish. He'd take on a long, tough shot, get it, then get in line, and never get out of line, and just go 8 and out, 8 and out, 8 and out. And it was, but he'd have to thread the cue ball through little tiny spots. But he did it 2 years in a row. I've never seen one pocket played that consistently well. I've seen guys run out, but they usually have to scramble and stuff. This was not like that.
I'll tell you what, I've had a taste or two of it. We played a historic match. It was 6 days in Las Vegas. But, well, I'll quickly say it. The first 4 times we played, I defeated him for money. About 6 months later, he gives me a phone call. And I'm yet to beat him since. He learns quickly.
Mm-hmm. No, he's just tough. Tough. Every game. Doesn't matter what you play. He's just good. He's just an athletic guy. He used to stand on one end of the 9-footer and bet that he could just jump that far to the other end of the table. I'm like, you got to be kidding.
Yeah, and he'll also stand next to the table and bet that he can jump straight up on top with one just flat-footed.
Hmm.
I don't know that he'll do that anymore. A little dangerous, actually. But, we've had some fun. That being said, I think for a pool player's build, I think he is the guy versus you and I, personally.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they play pool, the amateurs that I work with, a lot of them say, well, I wish I was just a little bit taller. I think it can be a detriment at times, especially endurance-wise, over time.
And the best pool players in the world are all short.
For a reason. Yeah, still a little mishit mark.
Yeah, he's always on that same side of the 1 ball, too. Did rattle in the 8 and a shot on the 1. We're all tied up at 3.
I don't know if this is natural to get above the 2 or if he has to elevate just a touch.
Yeah, he for sure has to elevate to get above the 2 because he's got to get above the 9. He can be a little, well, maybe not.
Yeah, just a touch.
Maybe not. Yeah, he was able to control that comfortably. Supposed to get back out past the center of the table, just barely past it. That'd be ideal. Hit it a little rough, took some of the speed, and he was wanting to have an angle to the long rail, not straight in. So.
Yeah, he caught it a lot thicker than he meant. Typically thinking to play that ball to the wide side or pro side of the pocket when you're down on that ball. Caught it a little heavy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I love his transition, man.
Yeah, real fluid. Yeah, good point.
I love it.
He's looking at maybe going one rail and playing the 5 ball on the side. I'm looking at, for me, I want to get up on top and play the 5 in the corner. So he's going this way, conservative way. Very efficient. Now he can go in the corner. It's certainly a better path than what mine takes way more risk. His was far more comfortable to play. Supposed to get cold here tonight, Scott. I don't want to scare you or anything.
Yeah, it's already there.
Arizona boy is not going to like 7 degrees.
Yeah, it is freezing. I walked out back earlier and thought I had a cigarette in my mouth. It was just a little bit of steam coming out.
Oh, he tried to force an angle that wasn't there. He did so well getting on it. I thought he could just roll that and just accept something.
He could have just rolled it. Yeah, I agree, Mark. They had a great angle for us, ACCUSTATS did there. He could have just gone forward. He would have been a little closer to the 6, but there is no doubt about it. He just tried to force it, like you said. Caught the inside of the point. That won't work.
I love the way he got on the 5. That was certainly better, but then to try to manufacture something from there that wasn't there and then risk missing. And that was his transition that he did get real quick on from backswing to foreswing.
Yeah, pretty heavy there. That's not going to get it. A little body movement, but understandable. Pretty uncomfortable shot that was. The 9 was also kind of in his vision. Come above the 7 here? Yes, he does.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah. You tickle that 7 ball, it can turn out all different. You can scratch with it if you get into it too much, or you hit the high side of the 7.
Yeah, you don't have to try to get too cute here. You don't want to end up straight. Just stay high like this. You're always going to miss the 10. Yeah. Could have been better. Definitely doesn't want to finish on the rail here. can sometimes ensue a miss. But first things first, just get the ball down. Oh gosh, how clean.
Yeah, real good job there.
To keep the cue ball off the rail, right?
Made the most of that shot.
Those 2 inches make a big difference.
4-3. Labutis.
Remains on top by 1 after 7, 4-3.
Bustamante. 61 years old and plays as good as any of them still.
Top speed.
A legend in our sport. An even bigger legend in the Philippines. The Colonel.
It's my road partner right there.
Yeah, and one of my favorites as a young man coming up. I loved to watch him chew that gum and run racks.
Nine balls, tracking, made the pocket. See it come out of this okay. After a lot of kisses and mishits and bumps. 9 ball found the pocket. Henny has the proper angle to get on the 2. 3's right there.
Yeah, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are all patched up in a good area. Just needs to get the angle here. And he's received it.
Well, for sure need the extension, maybe the bridge. Gonna grab the bridge.
No, I like what he did there. Made sure he didn't stay below it, so he didn't have to contest with the 6, 7, 10, or 8. Now he can go to the side again. Yeah, and I like this too. Now we're coming to the 3 rail line.
He cinched that. He this is what he desired, the 3 rail line. That way he never got in a spot where he had to move the cue ball where he's not expecting it to have to move.
Watch that back up a little.
Pretty shrewd. Pretty shrewd. He stayed long, so he preserved the angle. He didn't want to get where the cue ball's tracking at all towards the 7. Now it's just a stop shot that will slide a couple inches to his right.
He might have to go to the rail.
Yeah.
Not that it made a difference.
No, pretty crafty all the way around there, cinching that 3 rail route towards the 6 ball. That was a big deal. Well, he had a big margin of error.
Yeah, and I like that, what he just did there. I'm sure we all do. Check the cue ball up to hold it backwards. Play the 8 up the top right. That was pretty cute.
Second breaking run out of the set for Pagulayan. That ties the score at 4 apiece. And as Keith McCready would say, we got a pool game going on here.
I can hear the voice now.
Yeah, Keith. Did you guys ever play one pocket?
Yeah.
A lot.
Well, he was the first guy I ever played for $10,000.
Okay.
I was scared to death. Yeah, he was a lot of fun, man. So, he was such an entertainer and really a great-hearted guy.
Uh-huh.
I was fortunate enough to induct him into the One Pocket Hall of Fame.
Who won the first episode?
I did, but it took 3 days, literally 3 days. And I should say I think we played 12 to 14 hours a day. And on day 3, I got it. But I witnessed some amazing things from that man.
I bet he can twist some banks.
Oh, my goodness. Crazy banks that I never thought went.
A nice break. I don't know if he's going to get a ball, but he hit him good. He's not going to get a ball. Is that right? Oh, ugly. Absolutely hates that. Leaves a stop shot to get positioned on the 2. To get to the 3.
Yeah, pretty natural, right? You just don't want to get too low on the 2.
Nice square hit.
It can be cruel. He's going to go forward and get closer to the 2. Clever. If you can do it, it's clever. Might actually just use a flat ball or have to check it a little inside.
Yeah, the 4 ball is what he needs to avoid, so you can't hit this real firm.
Yeah, the 8.
The 2-railer is not that easy to get unless you have to use some inside spin. Yeah, he recognizes this too. This is kind of the pivotal shot of this rack right here, getting on the 3. Hit the pocket on the thin side. Speed was good. Great job.
He acts like he's not in love with it, but he tends to do that at times. He doesn't want to contest with the 5 if he can draw straight out. Yeah, very happy with that. You also don't want to get too steep on the 4. A lot of work to do here still.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
He's laughing. He's gotten steeper than he would have liked. Doesn't want to deal with the 9. He's obviously not going to go forward now. I don't believe. Yeah, he might be able to miss the 9 going forward. But I doubt it.
He's going to draw. No. Now he's going to go topspin. No.
Yeah, so he can go to the inside of the 9. It's not too steep.
And come back up to go between the 6 and 7 to pocket this ball. Check it up. Got to get on up there.
That's well done.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. You talk about the slow backswing, smooth transition. The one thing with Pagulayan, he's one of the very few that plays with his grip hand behind 90 degrees at impact. You see a few guys play in front of 90 degrees at impact, but you don't see anybody else. See where his arm is right here?
Mm-hmm. I feel like that might have a little bit to do with, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't even actually want to say that. I want to think about why that is. I think his delivery is a little smoother, but he doesn't stroke the cue very much. He just addresses it with a couple small pokes, and when he's ready, he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think he's back like that?
No, I think it's just a habit. I don't think it's necessarily anything. It's just that's his style. He's always done it that way.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like when he was young, if that's just how he got started and stuck with it, or if it's an adjustment he made on the way. Coming to the second rail, he doesn't want to get straight. does not want to get straight.
And he got just a hint the wrong angle. It's so flat, you don't hardly have any angle. You hate to have to pound it. That's why he was hoping that the cue ball would stop another 6 inches short.
And you really hate to have to draw it, so he's going to force it forward. Most likely 2 rails below, or excuse me, above the right side pocket. Like so, but watch the middle. Oh, and he's gone in the drink mark, and this is a heartbreaker for Pagulayan.
Boy, he had quite a bit of side spin on there, too. Usually that opens off that second rail.
Yeah, I think he was trying to come to the short side, though, of the middle.
Oh.
I think he accidentally put too much side spin on it. That's my opinion. I'm not certain, right?
Right.
He was so straight, I don't know that you could beat the side pocket coming long.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Is it a good time to walk that off? I'm a big proponent of the break, and when do you take your break? That's a big swing right there, obviously.
He didn't seem emotional about it, though. I mean, he knew it was a risk. He's pretty much in control. I don't really feel. Maybe save your break if you're going to use it tactically for later on.
Well,
He feels all right because he made a nice run out through that rack. He had to do a lot of work there. Where he checked it up on the inside of the 9. A lot of good things happened.
yeah, his head's down. He's shaking it.
One thing
Worry,
that
it's there for sure.
we know for sure. Pool is hard.
It is hard.
It is hard. Here he made 9 of the balls and gets no credit. The other guy, Alex mowed the grass. Labutis picked the flowers. 5-4s, I scored.
Oh no!
Now look out! Hello 9 ball. Hello cue ball. Well, sweet.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get kissed into the corner.
Yeah, if he would have got kissed to the corner, I would say, Scott, you were right. He should have taken a break.
Well, you just never know, right? They're halfway through the match, and if he makes some type of a careless error here going forward, you just never know. We can't read his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Wants to avoid the 10 here.
Almost overcut that ball.
Yeah, I don't think he tried to crash into the 5, that's for sure.
You're Chumley, you got 19. Shannon Murphy, you're Chumley, 19 guys.
Super long bridge.
Yeah, pretty nice recovery on that long ball.
Very good shot. Yeah, showing some really good tenacity here. None of those 3 shots were very good. They were very easy to complete. And he did it all perfect. Now, just no let up.
Yeah, really good signs for him, those last 3 shots, for sure.
In the last rack, scratch in the side, you warp the cue ball, you got to hit it like a bullet. We all know it can definitely go in the side. So
Yeah, one thing it can do is just rattle the insides, right? Rattle the cage a little bit, make you a little jittery. You're the only one that knows if that happens or not. And clearly, looks like he's already passed it, like you touched on. Long past it. Yeah, I don't think this is too bad. He can probably even hold if he has to.
Mm-hmm.
Just last thing you want to do is try and power this ball, and hold it up or rattle it. If he does come to this rail, just smooth this in. Oh, I like it. Aware of the short side. That way he can make sure to pocket the 6.
Now you got just a hint straight. I think he's got that's what he's going to go look. He knows, from over there, he can still cut that 8 in nice. You're going to likely glide to the edge of the 10 ball, too, so you're going to be moving that if you get in a certain spot here.
Oof, he's elevating. Backing out.
Yeah. He knew from over there he's going to glide it to the 10 if he back cut the 8 in there, and he wasn't sure. So he thought if he went this way, this would be the best time to take his gamble.
Yeah, but I feel like the risk was worth it just going into the 10.
Agreed.
Right.
Yep, agreed.
Versus trying to power something from the rail. Especially after all the work you've done. Just take your medicine. You know you're going to make the 8 from over there. Take your chance going into the 10. Kind of got away with it, Mark.
Yeah, I feel like Labutis feels like this is just like a free chance, and I think he's going to glide this in easy.
It's definitely steep.
Oh, no, it's a super hard shot. Yeah, I don't mean to indicate it's automatic. I just feel like it just feels like, I'll just cut that in.
Well, he did. And there's 2 games on the spin, as they say in Europe, that were in Pagulayan's hands.
He's got a decision to make here now. Do you try to go into the 10, just go ahead and go into it? Do you try to avoid the 10?
Yeah, I think I just soft spin it with an outside ball and go past the 10 if I have to.
But I think it's going to be so close. So maybe you can. Maybe you can.
Let's see what he chooses.
Yeah. Outside spin's taking you away off of I don't know. I think you go inside.
Oh, like if you hit it easy, though, the outside spin. No, he had plenty of room.
Yeah, he sure did.
This isn't straightforward yet. I mean, it looks easy on the camera. No. This is the pocket that held the 5 up on him earlier.
Yep, hit the heart of the pocket on that one. So 6-4 is that score.
Was it him or was it Moritz that the 5 held up on? I think it was Moritz. Remember the 5 that he...
Mm-hmm.
Was that this match? I apologize. We've done a couple matches.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I remember we talked about it.
Yeah. Wow. Jeez. Big swing there. Easily could have been 6-4.
And Pagulayan's still playing the 885. I mean, it's above world class, but like you said, he's kind of give away the last 2 games. He could just as easily be ahead 6-4 himself. Really shows you the power of when you elevate the cue, how much accuracy you lose, because that was the culprit there. And then what's the other game? Oh, he had to warp drive the ball to get up to the scratch to the side. So. Nice break.
He's going to have to come with a combination if he wants to go forward with it.
I don't know. That combo. I guess the one would come up table a little bit because you have to back cut it a little.
Yeah. Just kind of try to punch out a little bit softly, though. It's definitely tricky.
You're definitely betting the game on that shot.
I mean, you could just flick the 1 and go behind the purple, but most likely going to let Alex see a piece of it. I think he's got to go here, though. It's a pretty big pocket at which speed he's going to hit it, right? I don't think he's going to fram it. Just a slight elevation like so. Yeah. Really nice.
Boy, you made that look easy. You had to make a good shot.
But to your point, I think that, the 1 was coming out, so it gave him a little comfort knowing that he was going to probably have a shot regardless if he just gets it down.
Yeah, he shoots so straight. I mean, the last game, he just whizzed that cut in there like it was nothing.
Just wants to find the gap out here.
He's got some decision here, too. He's kind of deciding, do I come out to the outside of the 6? Yeah, I guess that's the easiest thing. You want to do the easiest thing that you have. Outside of the 6, down bump the 6. Okay.
Yeah, now. Boy, he sure hates to play a defensive shot from here, but I think the 8 and 10 are big balls to get behind if you'd like. I don't know that you can get behind the 6 because the 5 is in the way of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he's looking, behind the 8 and 10.
Yeah, he's not giving up anything cheap.
Is he coming 3 rails back door or 2 rails to the face? Yeah, okay.
Man, nice shot. Speed was pretty good, too.
Yeah, what a great shot this was. He's going to end up behind that yellow and white ball they call the 9, I believe. But, I mean, you cannot do any better than that from where you were.
Yep. You just have to devote your whole life. It has to be your lifestyle if you want to make shots like that. Like the right speed, the right direction. Yeah, it looked like it was never going to be good. Hit hard enough until he got there.
I agree.
Perfect.
Nothing wrong with just babying this to the rail, button it to the rail, right?
Yeah, that's pretty risky. I think he's going to go 2 rails underneath it. The baby thing would be fine. Even that one he hit heavy.
I felt like that was risky. Yeah, but he did hit it heavy, right? You're right. If he catches it thin, a lot of better things happen. What's he doing here?
It looks like he's going, but I wouldn't think. Okay, he's
The 6.
that 6 ball and didn't get it.
Touchy because he's trying to get both balls covered.
Right. Yeah, on the replay we saw Alex didn't even get to the second cushion, which I know he was trying for that at that speed.
Yeah, for sure, this thin side, no doubt. Tricky here. I'm trying to find it. I don't know that I'm finding it. Let's see what he's got in mind.
Sometimes you can just bank the 5 just past the side pocket and let the cue ball settle on the side rail here. No, he went for something different.
I liked your shot. I felt like that was pretty high percentage.
Yeah, you certainly have some losses in there, but I think it was a little bit easier to execute. He was moving both balls a long ways here, and then when you hit a ball, just say you hit it a 16th of an inch thick or thin, that changes those directions and speeds so much. But even my idea has some failure rate to it.
Well, of course.
So he just felt like this was the best decision. Good job. Get that one down from there and get that much position.
Really just come with one smooth shot here. You don't have to overpower it. Even 6 inches back is fine. Well, he's looking at going forward there. Is that because he's awkward?
I don't know. I don't think he should. I'm surprised if he moves the cue ball that much on this shot.
He's going down now.
Okay.
He didn't move it much. Just stay through this ball. Don't allow it to turn over. Got it a little thin, but it's in.
Good job there. Super light on the cue ball. To hit it at that speed, you have to load it up with backspin, bend it a little bit, and the cue ball only came across. That was pretty thin. Great control there. Pagulayan is a warrior. Still fighting, trailing 6-5.
And our 11th rack, Pagulayan gets it back within 1, 6-5. Heading into rack 12, he'll have the break.
TPAs are almost identical. 870 to 882. Pagulayan, with the better TPA, made less errors by a fraction.
Their Fargo ratings also 812 for Pagulayan, 806 Labutis. I always like that one joke. You might be a pool player if your Fargo rating's higher than your credit rating.
Score.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth?
Yes, it is. I'm actually finally knocking on the door of about even on both.
All right.
It's taken 5 decades. Look at this.
Bunch of kisses.
Yeah, there was a big collision towards the left center of the table. He's got to look at the one, though. Another big stretch about this one. He's going to probably have to go to the bridge. He is. Really putting your focus into making this ball before anything else. Couldn't fault him if you come down into the 2.
If you miss, overcut it. That's my suggestion.
Oh, wow.
What a nice shot. Giddy on up. This got right in. Yeah, got ugly.
Yeah, it sure did. You could just bunt this forward and glue him to the back of the 6.
Looks like that's what he's going to do.
I don't know. Looked like a little body movement there. He was really focused on trying to bury him on the 6.
Yeah, he was disappointed about that outcome, that he can see the 2 ball enough to do something with the cue ball.
He might not like it. I don't know if he can check this up enough to get him behind the 3, but he can use the 10 at worst.
Well, he didn't get him behind the 3. Looks like there's a window there to get to the 2. Does not look like there's a good offensive shot.
It's hard to tell how much of the 2 he can see, but I wouldn't be shocked if he could see enough of it to play it cross side. But we can't tell how much he can see of it.
It's not going to be easy either way. Maybe he can play the bank. Well, he can play the bank. What a shot that was. Yeah, he hates it now. He made that good shot. He would like to get a little better position.
Yeah, we're going to see a pretty big stroke here.
You got to go along. You really need to get back behind the 7, past where he's at right now, to make this shot work.
Needs a smooth backswing. Oh, boy.
Gorgeous shot. Wow, world class. World class. Very nice.
How sweet it is.
Man.
He has the heart of a lion, there is no doubt.
What a fighter. He gave away 2 games there. When I say that, I don't really mean in a bad way. He did his best he could do. But anyway, he lost 2 games there that were heartbreaking because he could have won them, and now he's retaliated here if he gets out with 2 very tough, hard-earned victories.
Yeah, pretty fortunate he got the gap to even bank that ball, but the hit that he made on the last 2 shots there were special.
And just even having the gap, you still have to hit a heck of a good bank shot.
But this is pool, right? This is rotation at its best.
This is why I love pool right here. I come here to watch this tournament because it's such a test for these guys. It's so interesting.
Nice hit to the wide side of the pocket. Very hard to miss the ball that way. We got action, Mark.
We got a pool game going on here, boys. 6-6 going to be our score. Really good. Really good stuff.
6-6.
Now we are going to have a player timeout. Labutis going to use his. Alex, he's looking at the crowd, smiling, chatting it up. We are all tied up at 6. It's a race to 4 from here. First player to get to 10. Labutis leading off.
Both balls on the side, Mark.
Yeah, he won't even be able to do anything but push out here. Now that you hate, you don't mind not getting the shot, but you at least want to have a chance to have control of the table. You hate to give up control by having to push out.
Yeah, and it's nothing easier either with the 4 there.
Nope.
Bodes for an easier safety with the 1. So you've got to be careful.
Yeah, what do you do here? This is not easy. It's not easy to tangle balls up. He might be thinking of moving the 10 away from the 3, maybe.
Consider going maybe to the 8 even.
Okay. Huh. I think he feels like the table rolled off because he certainly wasn't trying for this.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, I was just looking at maybe rolling over somewhere around the 8, but you know Alex is just going to thin the 1 and come behind those balls. That's the problem there. And like Mark said, he feels like the cue ball rolled off. He was most likely bringing the cue ball more to your right side of the table. Forced to shoot here, I guess. I mean, he's got to come over and he's got to contest with the 9 and the 8, so he must come below the 8.
There's traffic over here.
Or above the 9.
He tried to slow it, and he did slow it. Oh, my. Now that 310 is looming pretty large.
What a kill shot.
Yeah. What do you think? He's going to play the combination?
Yeah, I think that's the reason he took the 1 on. The way he did.
This takes a good shot. This is not an easy shot for sure. Okay.
Yeah, wasn't even close.
Labutis did not have to pay the ultimate price there.
Yeah, it definitely landed pretty tough, right?
Mm-hmm.
10 travels over in front of the 8. Most likely see an 8-10 combination. If it gets to that point, it's going to come back over behind the 9 and 10.
Boy, nice speed. Now you know he hit it right where he was trying to when you leave it like this.
Yeah, coming in at that line is not easy to hold the speed. You like coming behind the 3 here, Mark?
Yes. Yeah, you use the 6 as help to slow the cue ball down, maybe work for separation. One rail has very little value, but you can sell out super easy going one rail. So this will be a 2-rail kick. Yep.
A great hit. Could have been a little better as good as he hit it for him. Still has to come with a long shot. Move the cue ball quite a bit.
Right.
O'clock on the dot here. These guys would like to get through this match, get some rest, and come back fresh tomorrow.
Oh, you got a lot out of that one. Wasn't that a nice shot?
Sure was. Actually, probably got a little more high ball than I expected. Really arced off that first rail.
Yeah, this kid is a straight shooter here. This would be a real pretty shot, too, because I don't know if we have a chance to grab the overhead, but yeah, there we go. Here, no, clear that. Here, 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 back out here. That's where we're going.
Yeah, caught it fat.
Well, that's where he was trying to go anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Zing the cue ball back and forth. Low outside ball there. Caught it fat. Pagulayan putting the steam on Labutis. It's clearly present.
Now, is he going to go rail first inside spin and hope to avoid this corner pocket scratch down there? Is that the idea?
Trying to do that.
Man, what a nice hit. What a sweet hit that was. He wants a little bounce. He's going to get a tiny bounce, not a much bounce.
He doesn't want to risk framming this, does he?
No.
Might just have to take the distance. You fram this with speed, it can rattle out. So he will maybe go rail first here.
Yeah, he's going rail first.
Oh, really well done.
Man, he got a lot out of nothing there.
And you landed perfect. Just don't overpower this ball. Smooth it in. Body movement was huge there. And he just rarely has it, but when he has it, it's big. I don't know if we can get another look. Almost willing that ball to go in.
Mm-hmm.
He'd love to have that one back. Awkward again, though, for Labutis. I feel like he's got the view on the main screen looks like you can go to the top right corner, but in person it looks like he has to go to the top left.
I think it's the 10 ball that's bothering him with this. He thinks the cue ball's going to bump the 10.
Yeah, that's where he had to go.
Good shot.
Camera angle just a tad misleading there. So 2 combinations missed this rack. by Alex. This is an interesting play. Coming to the second rail, but very aware of how close the 10 is to the pocket.
Yeah, very good. Nice. 7-6. I don't know if we have a chance to grab the overhead, but if we do, I will show you one other alternative. There's the overhead. So the 10 ball's here, and the 8 ball's here, and the 6 ball's right down here, and the cue ball is real straight in. Now, the chicken that I am, I like Alex's shot, rail first. I like that, and just go here rather than out here.
So that you leave the 8 there.
Then you kind of, and then you can just kind of ease it down there, and then you just don't give up the shot. And I thought that maybe would be his play, but he went a little more aggressive, and he got a lot more out of it than I really thought was comfortable to get. So I can't really fault him, but then the body movement totally ruined it. So it suggests maybe he should have played the more conservative way on that combination rather than go for the home run if it's going to make you flinch.
Yeah. He laid so good on it, though. We have to admit, I don't believe he's supposed to miss that combination. The first 3-10, I didn't think he'd miss.
Right.
Look at this. Drama.
Yeah, the old dry break now. The last thing you wanted.
Looking to come 2 rails to where his Q-tip is now. 3 is covered up by the 10 and the 6. I believe it plays to the left-hand side pocket. Doesn't look like it on the screen, but the overhead tells us it does. Wow. I thought he'd go forward 2 rails there. Didn't think he'd get in trouble going forward 2 rails with an inside ball, right? There's a reason I'm up here, though. And they are there. I think he's going to leave a gap. Not what he wanted. There's so much protection with all these balls on the table. Labutis can bank this one down towards the lower left corner, but just quite a bit wider if he'd like.
Yes. Yeah, this is even more. You're just mainly concerned about the cue ball. You know the 1 ball's going to be turned out long and tough. Oh, he hit it too thin. Got the 1 ball down there. Cue ball got away a little bit. It's okay, though. There's plenty of covers, so it still worked out.
Finished pretty awkward, though. Actually finished very awkward. He's pondering. Gonna take the extension. Alex can see a piece of this for sure.
Pretty shrewd decision, though. He didn't try something that wasn't there.
Oh, look at this. He's lucked the 10 in. Wow.
Alex is clapping his
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Go on, Ryan. take another look. He's trying to come 2 rails behind it. Caught the one real thin and swished the blue and white. Wow.
And now you see Alex's emotion and his smile and laughter and clapping. And you can see why people love him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's thanking the heavens right now for that. We're tied at 7. Cue ball got away from him a little more that time. If you want to roll it, you have a shot.
Yeah, what a tester this long, too, would be. I don't know that he goes at it. There's another replay. Definitely off center. Fortunate to get the 1 down. I don't know, Mark. Are you almost forced to play this ball?
When it's a hard safety and a hard shot, you usually want to go for the shot. He's looking down table, though, like he's going to go with inside spin.
Yeah, bank the 2 up past the 5. And get
Well, no, I think he was
10.
playing the shot. He was just looking if he gets the cue ball all the way down there.
I think he's
Oh,
banking
no.
the 2 up. Well, he was trying to.
He
bank
was
the
trying
2
to
up.
do that, and now he's been the recipient of some good fortune here with that second double kiss that chipped the cue ball in such a way that Alex does not have direct access to the 2.
He's got a pretty good kick to the second rail behind it, though. Pretty accurate. You can be very accurate with it, with a high ball. Really get the 2 up table. You'd love to end up behind the 7. That would be ideal. Or the 10 and 3.
Good job. When you have to kick 2 rails and you end up leaving the end rail to end rail with a blocker, that was a tremendous shot.
Yeah, especially with all the balls on the table. You got plenty of room for coverage. He intended on kicking and sticking like that. So he wasn't worried about the 7, 10, or 3.
Very nice.
It sure was. Can he bank the 2 back up and use the 10? Or does he have to go into the 7?
I think it's going to hit the 10. Oh,
Off the 7.
well, we know he wasn't playing that.
He'll take it.
He'll take it. Yeah, if you go high velocity here, you can go top spin and get around the 7, but if you go soft, you can't. And high velocity, you run the risk of missing way more than you would soft. He went high velocity. He missed.
Yeah, fatigue could be setting in on both of them just a little bit. It's already been a long few days. In their defense.
Yeah, 10-foot table, off angle, and then you get a, so I think maybe he would have been better advised to play either soft and try to cinch the ball or play safe on that ball but he could have hit a home run. If he scores that ball and gets that cue ball around the 7, he can win too. Just because you get safe doesn't mean you win the game anyway, and it was going to be a hard save, so maybe he did it the right way.
Going defensive here.
Alex will for sure hit this rail first, so he's going to decide the speed and the direction he wants on the cue ball.
Yeah, I don't think you want to play it like you're going to make it to the lower right. That's very dangerous. Because if you don't get it there, you're most likely going to sell it out.
Right.
Is he looking to paper thin this, or maybe use the 8 here and catch it full? Yeah.
What a shot. What a billiard shot
How
there.
cute.
Wow.
Use the 8.
Very good. Very good. And so we know he didn't use running English because it would have accelerated off that rail, and he's wanting to deaden up. But
Yeah, he used actually a tip of outside.
ooh, world class. Man, that was something there. That little setup.
Yeah, I felt like the safety that PIJUS played was a little suspect. I thought he could actually cut to 3. It was a little steep, but Oh gosh, look at this hit.
Man,
These
great
guys are-
return kick.
Yeah, they're showing us some tactical genius.
Now, Pagulayan's got the roles reversed. Now he's in a terrible spot.
He can get behind the 3, and he's going to try. This is a big dig length of the table. Really got to swerve out. Oh, and he's done it.
Look at that kick and stick he just made. I can't believe it.
Yeah, that's a big dig. He's aiming to miss the entire ball there. Expecting the cue ball to swerve right towards the end.
Now this is tough to deal with.
Can you chip it towards the 7 and go 2 rails behind the 5, or bank it straight back up and use the 8 and 4?
That would be the logical one, you know, but if you got to hit that 7 square, so, and he didn't go look like he's aiming to hit the 7 square, so I don't think he's playing that. No, he is. Oh, he did that comfortably. Okay.
Yeah, very good again. Completely covered. Yeah, looking to the right long rail, but you've got to be careful. You do not want to come into the bottom of this 3. That lower left corner is big. I think he's trying to hit this going in, warping the cue ball.
He can make it off the 7 if he does.
Not going to finish good for Alex.
Well, that was a really interesting tactical exchange there, that series of shots.
Yeah, I believe the best we've seen since this event started.
Yeah, PS has got to try to remember, what is the goal here? I thought we were playing kicks.
Yeah, no doubt. He could just stop right here if he doesn't want to get too cute. I think he's okay to do that. Play the 4 in the top left, but just regroup, kind of like you just touched on. You're now shooting the ball straight in.
Yeah, we haven't did that for a long time.
Okay, he had a line to punch out.
Taking a look and see if he wants to come all the way across. So he has just a 1 or 2 cushion route to the 8. Got a little flat there. He didn't get all the way across.
No. He didn't, luckily for him. Obviously, he knows the 8 plays in the middle. The right-hand side pocket, and that's probably where he's going to go. Punch to the bottom rail and out a little.
Yeah, the 7's close enough to the corner. He can manufacture a little bit of an angle. He got just about perfect on this. No, he's saying he got too straight.
Yeah, he came up much higher. I thought he'd punch down along the bottom rail to make sure he carried this angle.
Yeah, I think he can still follow past it.
If so, then all is well.
No, he couldn't. He couldn't go past the side. He had to go to the side cushion. So it was straighter than I thought.
I just did a small video on a shot very similar to this. You really want to play this ball. Once you're down, adjust even a tick thinner to the wide side of the pocket. That way, if you hit it bad, it still falls. Find your aim point. Once you're down on the ball, make a slight, ever so slight adjustment to the thinner edge. Well done. Really looks like he's going through it. Turned his head and looked the other way. And big sigh of relief.
Shots in there. Evan Lucas now 2 away. Tight match, 8-7.
Conversation between the referee, Ricky, and Labutis.
I assume it has to do with the shot clock, but I'm not positive.
WNT Pro.
All right, let's be respectful when the players are down on their shot.
Coming up at the end of the week. Matchroom ranking event
Thank you very much.
in the 9-ball division. I would have to believe that it's by far the biggest matchroom ranking event in the States.
Yeah. I have a waiting list of like 300 or 400 people for it.
Incredible.
Labutis in front, 8-7. Pagulayan breaking.
Oh, look at the cue ball. He deserves a shot here. Get out of the way, Orange. This is cold-blooded, Mark.
Yep.
Because the push-out is a nightmare. You can't push to a jump, folks. So where is the tie-up? What can he tie up?
The push to the one-pocket safety kick,
Yeah.
I think.
You're saying the top rail and just flick it over?
Mm-hmm.
Common shot these guys use all too often. But PIJUS is probably not going to pass this up if he can get to that top rail easily. If he can't get to it easily, it's a different story, but I think he can. Oh yeah, this angle tells us he can. He's giving it back. Alex will take it. This is a left ball here, just crossing the face of it. Yeah.
Yep. Good job. He escaped the possible loss from a errant push out. So now, even though he couldn't completely play safe, he's going to have some kind of an opportunity to maybe come to the table with something slightly better.
Yeah, good call there. I think he comes behind the 8, or at least goes into the 1 heavy and tries to use the 8. Yeah, like so. What a hit.
It was not easy to do to get that cue ball result.
No, and he's cut everything off the 3. Really a problem. Can't come to the right long rail. This is trouble.
Mm-hmm.
He might have to come 3 rails like a billiard shot, drag the cue ball. He's just going to the 1 rail line. 2 rail line. Oh, this is tough, Mark.
Yeah, I would think, like you said, open it up with the 1 rail line.
Yeah, that was just so tough.
No, he wasn't even close. I mean, he missed by more than a diamond on that.
Yeah, you know you're going to be closer with the 1 rail line.
Huh.
Surprised me a bit there.
Yeah, if you barely nick the 2 or you barely graze past the 1, you kind of get that. When I say barely nick the 3 is what I meant. But he missed on the outside of the 3. I mean, it wasn't even in the same area code. That's very unusual. I don't see Alex, and that's what they call kind of like shooting at a white flag or something. It's so out there. He's almost always close, and it scores a lot of them.
Yeah, really uncharacteristic for sure. Which tells me again that I think there is some fatigue setting in. These guys are playing other games as well throughout the day. 1 pocket and bank pool. This is a triathlon of pool.
Yeah, you got to be fit. And Labutis, to his credit, has kept the pressure on Alex throughout. Alex did give away a couple games in the middle of the set, but then he battled back. But every game has been hard fought. And Labutis' safeties probably take a toll mentally on how draining it is to always keep you kicking from nothing.
Yeah, Mark, you might have fallen a little bit on the wrong side here. Gonna go forward now. Wow, he got everything he could out of that. Constantly got that little head shake of negativity. Tells me that he just feels like everything is tough right now. And we've all been there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Doesn't matter what it looks like, it's tough. Oh, that was very, very clean.
Yep, he's on the hill, 9-7.
Yeah, Mark, that game that Alex missed the 3-10 combination, then the 8-10 combination, you could look back at that game and say, well, if he happens to lose or go on to lose 10 games to 7, that was it.
Yeah, but neither combination was easy. We did think he would get the second one, but
I felt like he was easier on the third one, but he just overcut it so bad just because he was so much closer to it. Or, the first one with the 3 ball.
Right. The first one,
yeah,
we kind of thought, but the last one there, he made such a good rail first shot to get out on it, and then he played it, and then he kind of flinched at it. All right, Labutis breaking here, leading 9-7.
Yeah, really bearing down on his final break. He would hope is his final break.
Did him pretty good. Let's see what's happened here. He's tough shot into the side with the 1, that's for sure. In most of these circumstances through the match, Labutis has minimized his unforced errors. He like cut this past the side pocket down below. You know, I don't know if we can grab the overhead real quick. I'll show everybody. I'm saying most of these shots he's purposely played the 1 ball down here like this and then filtered the cue ball up there rather than take a shot for the side.
I think you could also Z-bank it and just draw back behind the 3 and play safe, kind of like this.
Oh, good call. Yeah. Oh, man. Better yet. That was a killer shot there.
Yeah, that's
devastating.
It is devastating. The 7's massive.
Yep.
He's going to have to somehow find a way to split between the 6 and 7. The side pocket's big there. I don't think he can warp draw it past the 8. No chance at this angle. So 2 big safeties in the last 2 games from Labutis.
Yeah. Yeah, you made a good call on this one here. Boy, that was a devastating one.
No, he found a way. What a hit.
Yeah, tremendous shot by Pagulayan, but it's still, you know, maybe Labutis still has way the best of it.
But you've said it before, Mark. It's going to make him earn it, at least.
Right.
He's got to come with a good shot here. Made it look easy.
I know these young straight shooters. I'm so jealous.
Part of the pocket. Back out where he's at now. Do the job. Maybe a little closer.
Very controlled, preserved the angle that he wanted.
Pretty steep, though, isn't it? A little steeper than he wanted. I guess it doesn't look like it. On the main camera in person, it looks a little steeper.
Yeah.
On the overhead.
Yeah, he probably doesn't want to roll into the 6 because you don't know exactly what you're going to get. If you could draw past the 6.
Yeah, low right ball here. Helps the 4 in as well. Nice.
He made that look easy, but we could tell it was not an easy shot.
No, he was quite steep there. Well, I think this match has been full of drama.
No, just a little bit more, maybe.
Yeah.
I think he's okay. I think he's. Well, that's the overhead. Sometimes that's deceptive. So.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to settle for a little more distance. I don't think he wants to flirt with the side. He's just going to punch to the top side of the side. Take his medicine, right? I don't think you want to flirt with coming back.
Right.
He could come back if he's close enough. Yeah.
He was able to get a little more out of that than I thought when I looked down from here. I thought he's got to stay kind of by the other side of the side pocket and match ball now for Labutis. And a very game effort by Pagulayan, too. He played fantastic. Labutis played some good defensive shots there, did he not?
Yeah, I think that was probably the best tactical match we've seen for sure since the start of the tournament. From both guys.
Yeah.
Really, that one game was really special. Yeah. what are you going to do? You got to feel for Alex to lose that way, kind of. I mean, but Labutis, like you said, really played some mature shots.
He earned it. He gave himself a chance. He didn't take wild, unforced errors. All right, from all of us at ACCUSTATS, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. Please do so again. That concludes our broadcast day. Please drive careful, and so long for just a while.
To the championship tomorrow night.